This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Consult with a qualified professional before making any investment decisions.
Welcome to the Wire Weekly Roundup. The week in real estate presented in digestible bites. Hold on while our AI hosts take us on another ride through this week's top real estate headlines.
Welcome back to The Wire, everyone. Great to have you with us.
Yeah, good to be here.
As you all know, things move fast in real estate. Staying ahead, it's pretty crucial.
Absolutely essential.
So today, we're doing just that. We're diving deep into some really significant developments. We've got insights from Rise Media, Real Estate News, and we're going to unpack it all, see where things line up, where maybe they don't.
And figure out what it actually means for you right now in your business.
Exactly.
Think of it as us wading through the noise for you. We've looked at the details, the arguments.
To bring you the core stuff you need.
Right. Not just news reporting, but analysis. What are the trends? What can you actually do with this information?
We'll be hitting on, listing management, portal, power play.
Then also how you project yourself, your value as an expert. All really critical pieces.
Okay, let's jump in. The big one everyone's talking about. This Zillow policy change.
The May 2025 one?
Yeah, right. Any property marketed publicly has to be in the MLS and pushed out to sites getting MLS feeds within 24 hours.
Or else?
Or else it's banned from Zillow. Not just for a day, but for the life of the listing.
Wow. That's a strong move.
It is. And the reactions, pretty immediate.
Yeah. Andy Florence, CEO over at CoStarAndHomes.com. He came out swinging in that April 12th letter.
Didn't hold back, did he?
Yeah.
Calling it a pure power play of epic proportion.
Exactly. His whole argument is that these big portals, they need to be neutral ground.
Right. Not trying to control things.
And he really hammered Zillow on what he calls their lead diversion model. Says it's bad for consumers, bad for agents.
Because they sell the leads, potentially to other agents, not the listing agent.
That's the core of his criticism.
Yeah.
So right away, you see a major player drawing a line in the sand. Very different philosophies.
And this directly impacts agents.
Yeah.
Right? Sellers might start asking, hey, what about the Zillow rule? You need answers.
Absolutely. You need to be ready to talk strategy.
Florence is really pushing Homes.com's angle. Your listing, your lead.
Emphasizing that direct connection. Listing agent gets the lead, gets the credit.
He contrasts that directly with Zillow selling leads, trying to position Homes.com as, the agent-friendly choice.
And he even took it a step further, suggesting agents should think about whether the Zillow rule is anti-competitive.
Mentioning the Department of Justice, that's pretty serious language.
It really is. Shows the stakes involved. But then you've got a completely different view from another big name.
Yeah, this was interesting. Glenn Kelman at Redfin.
Came out Monday siding with Zillow, which is maybe not what everyone expected.
Definitely a twist.
Yeah.
Redfin.com won't publish listings marketed publicly before they hit the MLS feeds.
His reasoning, all buyers should see all listings. It's about transparency for the buyer side.
So total opposite stance from Florence. One says neutrality, the other says push everything to the MLS first for fairness.
Creates real division, doesn't it? Two major portals diametrically opposed on this.
And Redfin's even suggesting a new MLS status, like a coming soon thing.
Yeah, that would hide the days on market, price history, things like that from the search sites.
The idea being it removes a disincentive for agents to put listings on the MLS right away.
That seems to be the logic.
Yeah.
Trying to encourage early MLS adoption by mitigating some potential downsides for the seller. Interesting angle.
Okay, so Zillow and Redfin are sort of aligned on the MLS first idea. Homes.com strongly against Zillow's mandate. What about Realtor.com?
They're playing it a bit more cautiously, it seems. Their statement mentioned giving it thoughtful consideration.
So no firm yes or no yet?
Not explicitly. They emphasize supporting listing cooperation, maximizing exposure, fair market, all good things.
Standard industry support language, kind of.
Yeah, highlighting the value of cooperation, but not jumping into the fight like the others, at least not yet.
Okay. Now, Daryl Davis weighed in too, right? In Rise Media.
He did on the 14th, and he had a pretty pointed take.
What was his angle?
He basically argues this isn't about fairness from Zillow, it's about control. Sees them using NAR's clear cooperation policy, the CCP, almost like a weapon.
How so? What's the connection to the CCP?
Well, the CCP requires MLS submission within 1 business day of public marketing, but NAR recently added some flexibility, those multiple listing options for sellers.
Right, allowing some wiggle room.
But Davis points out Zillow's rule basically ignores that flexibility. Any delay past their 24 hours, even if allowed under NAR's options, Zillow says permanent ban.
So Zillow's rule is stricter than the underlying NAR policy it claims to be responding to.
That's Davis's point. He sees it as tech companies grabbing too much power, telling agents don't give away your sovereignty.
It's about who controls how properties get marketed, fundamentally.
Yeah, exactly. Zillow frames it as aligning with the CCP, but critics like Davis and Florence see it as going way beyond, imposing Zillow's will.
And Florence had already criticized NAR's move before the Zillow announcement, saying portals shouldn't dictate policy like that.
Right. He wants portals to be neutral channels, not rule makers. It's a messy situation.
Definitely a tangle. MLSs, portals, NAR, individual agents, everyone's got a stake.
It really highlights that tension over who owns and controls listing data. It's the big question right now.
Okay, let's pivot slightly. Still crucial for agents, but maybe more about the individual level. Professionalism.
Yes, super important. Daryl Davis hit on this too in another piece on April 11th.
What was the core message there?
It was about agents recognizing and maybe more importantly, claiming the respect they deserve.
As professionals, not just salespeople.
Precisely. He stresses you're licensed professionals, you have a fiduciary duty, you're industry experts.
That fiduciary duty point is key, isn't it? Same standard as doctors, lawyers, putting the client first legally and ethically.
It absolutely is. And he points to the rigorous licensing, the ongoing education needed to stay current, E&O insurance. These aren't small things.
They demonstrate a level of commitment and expertise.
Right. And his argument is how clients see you starts with how you see yourself.
So project that confidence, that expertise.
Bone it. Communicate your value with authority. It builds trust, elevates your business. Don't just list your credentials. Maybe share examples.
Like how you solved a tricky problem for a client.
Exactly. Show, don't just tell. Demonstrate that fiduciary commitment in action through stories or testimonials.
It moves the perception from door openers to trusted advisor.
That's the goal. Especially now, when buyers can find basic property info online, your value is the expertise, the guidance, the negotiation.
The navigation through the complexities.
You got it. That's irreplaceable.
Okay, so we've talked policy battles, we've talked professionalism. How about connecting with clients in this digital age? Video keeps coming up.
It does, and for good reason. That real estate news piece summarizing Kim Rittberg's advice, really practical stuff.
From that Real Estate Insiders Unfiltered session, what were the key takeaways?
Number one, video is king. It's the most engaging, most shared content. Social media algorithms just eat it up.
So if you're not doing video, you're likely missing out on reach.
Pretty much, but her tips were about how to do it effectively.
Like projecting confidence, even if you're camera shy.
Yeah, she emphasized that. Your belief in yourself and what you offer comes through. And keep it focused.
One topic per video, right? Not trying to cram everything in.
Exactly. A quick market update, answer one common question, explain one part of the process like contingencies, keep it simple and valuable.
Beyond just property tours, showing your knowledge.
Right. Build credibility, mention awards, sales volume, sure, but also just demonstrate your market knowledge.
And the likability factor.
Crucial. Real estate is built on relationships. People work with agents they know, like, and trust. Video lets your personality shine.
She mentioned getting personal, sharing glimpses of your life.
Yeah, the mayor of your town idea. Show you're part of the community, you know the area, you live there too. It builds connection.
And the advice about not chasing viral status.
So important. Don't get obsessed with huge numbers. Every follower in your local market is a potential client or referral.
It's about quality engagement, not just quantity of views.
Absolutely. Build that local network, that trust. That's far more valuable long-term than one video hitting the jackpot randomly.
Makes sense. Consistent, authentic content builds relationships.
That's the name of the game.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Policies, professionalism, video. If you had to pull out one surprising insight from all this, what would it be?
Surprising. I think it's the stark division between the big portals on that Zillow policy. You've got Redfin basically saying, yeah, good idea, and Homes.com saying, this is terrible, maybe illegal.
That alignment between Redfin and Zillow is definitely eyebrow-raising.
It is. It shows there's no single portal view. It's a fragmented landscape with very different strategies and, frankly, power struggles playing out.
Which makes it complex for agents trying to figure out the best way forward for their listings.
Exactly. It's not a clear-cut situation at all. That division was, probably the most surprising element for me.
Okay, so given that complexity, what's the main takeaway? What should agents listening right now really focus on?
I think it's twofold. First, you have to stay informed on these listing policy shifts. Understand the arguments, Florence's, Kelman's, Davis's, so you can advise your sellers intelligently.
Be ready for those conversations about listing strategy.
Absolutely. And second, simultaneously, you need to double down on reinforcing your own value proposition.
Back to that professionalism piece.
Yes. Emphasize your expertise, that fiduciary duty, build genuine connections, use tools like video to make it personal and showcase what you bring to the table.
So navigate the external changes while strengthening your internal foundation.
Perfectly put. Stay informed, build your brand as that trusted advisor. That's how you thrive no matter how the platforms shift.
So there we have it. A deep dive into portal politics, professional identity, and client engagement strategies. A lot to think about.
Definitely. What really resonates with you listening out there? Is it the listing debate, the need to step up your video game? How will this shape your next steps?
Yeah, really consider how these themes play out in your own market with your own clients.
And always remember, amidst all the noise and change, your core value, your expertise, your ethical commitment, your personal connection, that's your anchor.
That's what clients ultimately rely on.
Mm-hmm. And maybe a final thought to chew on. How might this growing tension between the big portals wanting control and agents wanting autonomy, how might that reshape how homes are marketed and found in the future?
Interesting question. Is there a different model waiting to emerge?
Could be. It's a space ripe for innovation, that's for sure. Lots of strategic decisions ahead for all of you.
Keep diving deeper. Stay informed. Stay adaptable. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We'll catch you next time on The Wire.
If you're interested in your own personalized edition of The Wire, please visit us at thewire.fm/custom. We offer market-specific podcasts with all the latest real estate news and market analysis delivered to you weekly or monthly. Own your market with a personalized edition of The Wire, The Week in Real Estate. Thank you for listening.